How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Another week, another updated draft. Because let's face it, this game is half spreadsheets, half overthinking, and 100% heartbreak. But we're getting close now. Preseason's giving us clues, lineups are slowly making sense, and most importantly, I've crunched the numbers, so you don't have to. This version of the team, sharper, smarter. Still subject to wild panic changes 15 minutes before deadline, but better. Let's get into it, starting from the back. All right, starting between the sticks, no changes here. Robert Sanchez remains locked in. Chelsea ended last season strong. The defense looked cohesive for once, and at his price point, Sanchez is still the best value keeper in the game. He's got the fixtures, the team looks sharp, and I'm not about to overthink a position where you'll barely get 4 points a week. Simple. Now, let's talk Joe Rodon. He's still in the squad. For now. Look, 4.0 defenders are like socks from a 3-pack. You just hope one of them works. He's cheap, he's playing, and with Leeds promoted, he might sneak a few clean sheets early on. There are better options out there, sure, but until one stands out, Rodon survives the cut. Diouf joins the party, and honestly, he's earned it. Absolutely killing it in preseason. Fires dominant, loves a tackle, and looks nailed on. I reckon he's a better pick than Wan-Bissaka, and that's not just preseason hype. Diouf's passing the eye test and the data test. Low risk, high ceiling, what else do you want? Then there's Joachim Andersen. Boring? Maybe, but boring is beautiful when you're hunting clean sheets. Fulham are tight at the back, and Andersen's a big part of that. Not flashy, not going to get you screamers from 30 yards, but he'll start, he'll clear, and he'll give you points when you need them most. Now let's take a look at the midfield. Morgan Rogers still locked in, and honestly, why wouldn't he be? The guy plays every match, box to box, has that knack for ghosting into the box like a ninja with boots on, and he's not afraid to have a go. Technically sound, decent engine, and let's be honest, he's still criminally underpriced for what he offers. Mo Salah, yeah, no surprises here. I mean, if you're not picking him, either you've got a plan so genius, it's dangerous, or you just like living life on the edge. Pens, talisman, minutes, consistency. Scores, blindfolded, with 1 foot and a dodgy haircut. The one you fear not owning. Over to the 2 new additions. Cole Palmer's in. Chelsea's looked sharp end of last season. And Palmer, he's the spark in that attack. On Pens involved in everything, and looks like he's already got the keys to the system. Feels like a cheat code at that price. Talented, composed, and most importantly, he's nailed. Now, Lucas Paquetá, bit of a punt, I know, but this one's got teeth. Can be electric when he's switched on. He's got flair, creativity, and some set pieces. And with West Ham's fixtures looking a bit friendlier, he might just be that sneaky upside pick. Just hoping he keeps his ankles clean and the VAR out of his business. Chris Wood's still holding down the line. He's like a classic family car. Not flashy, but gets the job done. Strong, consistent, and with a decent run of fixtures, he's the kind of forward you set and forget. Plus, his accent alone is worth a few points, if you ask me. Now, out go Isaac and Joao Pedro, and in come 2 very different beasts. First up, Ollie Watkins. If he stays fit, he plays. That's half the battle in FPL. Watkins has proven he can bang in goals, and with Villa's early fixtures looking juicy, this is a form plus fixture combo you don't ignore. Same price bracket as the flavor of the month Gyökeres, but the data and the minutes say, trust the Englishman. He's the safer bet, and still plenty of upside. Then there's Jean-Philippe Mateta. Bit rogue? Maybe. But hear me out. He's clinical, has a real chance at pens, and Palace have some underrated attacking options that could feed him. We've seen flashes, and if he starts the season hot, you're laughing all the way to a 0.3 meters price rise. Feels like the perfect budget pick with breakout potential. Alright, let's talk bench. Because if you're like me, you know that game week 1 never goes exactly to plan. Having a few solid backups matters. Semenyo stays. Simple as that. He's electric, dangerous one of one, and we've said it before, a proper talisman for Bournemouth. Cheap, exciting, and you know he'll fight for every minute. Now for the new faces. First up, Chris Richards from Palace. I've gone cheap at the back here, but Richards stands out. Palace fans are buzzing about him. He's been class in preseason and seems to have really locked in. Gonas, he rotates perfectly with Diouf from West Ham, so you can almost always get a decent fixture out of the two. Next, the 4.0 keeper has been upgraded to a 4.5, just in case I pull the trigger on an early bench boost. It's between Kelleher at Brentford and Verbruggen, probably at Brighton. Both look like they'll start, and I wouldn't be too bothered either way. Lastly, I've gone with a sideways swap to Esteve. Word is he's the most nailed-on defender in that Bat 4, and at 4 mil, that's gold. Nothing fancy, just a smart depth option that could end up starting if things shift. Let's talk about 3 big names I've sold from the draft: Gordon, Isaac, and Joao Pedro. First, Gordon. At face value, he looked like a great pick. Explosive, tricky, had an okay season last year. But let's dig deeper. He averaged 64 minutes per match and only started 28 games, which actually means when he does start, he gets about 87 minutes per game. That's solid. But the problem? Rotation. Harvey Barnes is waiting in the wings, literally. And while Gordon's played some striker in preseason, he's naturally a wide player. Add in Newcastle's overall uncertainty, especially with the Isaac situation, and I've now marked him as a wait-and-see team for game week 1. Now, Isaac. If he stays and gets a proper run, I still rate him as a must-have. But transfer whispers keep circling, and if he leaves or just isn't fully committed, that pick quickly turns into a headache. I'd rather avoid the drama, especially when there are other reliable forwards out there. Finally, Joao Pedro. Only averaged 51 minutes per match last season, with just 23 starts. When he does start, he plays about 85 minutes. But now we've got a new team in the mix, and Liam Della also pushing hard for minutes. It's going to be a shared role, and, again, too much uncertainty for game week 1. So all in all, these 3 are out. We're still early, and there are better options with safer floors and more clarity heading into the season. Let's talk about the 3 big new names in the squad then, and why they've made the cut. First up, Jean-Philippe Mateta. He averaged 70 minutes per match last season, and when he starts, he's usually pushing 80-plus minutes. He's now the clear main man up top for Palace, and honestly, he's been flying in preseason. Big physical presence, threat on set pieces, and just knows where the goal is. When he's not in your team, he's infuriating. Classic FPL troll energy. But when he's yours, lovely stuff. Confidence is sky high, and with Palace's fixtures, this could be one of those early gems. Next is Ollie Watkins, 68 minutes per match, 31 starts, and when he plays most of the 90. Spearhead of that Villa attack, and he's nailed. No one's threatening his spot. He's fast, makes clever runs, and when he's on it, he's clinical. The preseason form? Excellent. Honestly, it came down to him or Isaac for that spot, and with all the uncertainty surrounding Newcastle right now, Watkins just feels safer, especially with those early fixtures. And finally, Cole Palmer. One of the biggest upsides to losing Isaac is freeing up funds for this guy. Palmer's the main man at Chelsea, he's on pens, and honestly, even looked good when he was just cameoing for City. Now, he's pulling strings, scoring screamers, and has fully settled into that role for Chelsea. Only missed 2 starts last season, and with his vision, shooting ability, and confidence, he's absolutely worth the pick. Could be a season keeper. All right, let's talk about the players that got the chop. Not necessarily because they're bad picks, but because, well, sacrifices had to be made. First up, Gladio. Could still be a good pick, don't get me wrong, but with the direction of this team, I needed funds to bring in Cole Palmer. And with me going cheaper at the back, Gladio just didn't fit the structure. Plus, he's not really a player who will get lots of defensive contribution points. Solid player, just not right for me now. Michaelenko also out, same story, needed to downgrade to free up cash. On top of that, Moyes recently said the squad's not ready for the season, and Tarkowski's only just joined. Doesn't exactly fill you with confidence for game week 1. Then we've got Ola Aina, and this was a close one. After some consideration, I think Neco Williams might be the better option at that price point. Either that, or you go for one of Forest's centre-backs. But with European football incoming, I'm not convinced we'll get the same solid Forest defence as last season. The rotation risk is also a factor. With the extra money saved, I upgraded Nonto to Paquetá. Bit of a gamble, sure, but if Paquetá gets the minutes, he could be a steal. Manager says he looks sharp, got his head right, and come on, Pep wanted him at City for a reason. This might be the pick I'm most unsure about, but it could pay off big time if West Ham hit the ground running. And that's the updated draft. For now, obviously, things can change fast with transfers, lineups, and injuries, so don't go tattooing this team on your arm just yet. But I'm feeling pretty solid about the structure, and there's enough flexibility to move quickly if needed. As always, don't overthink it. No draft is perfect. Just pick good players and don't be afraid to make aggressive moves if something shifts. If you enjoyed the vid, give it a like, drop your thoughts or your own draft in the comments, and hit follow if you haven't already. Helps more than you think. And remember, when in doubt, ignore the noise, trust your gut, and maybe, just maybe, keep an eye on your coworker's tactical Excel super spreadsheet. Catch you in the next one.